Actually, this isn't a business card, but it's a really cool card. That's my son-in-law lives here. He's a captain in the Marines.
Wow, that's awesome.
And Molly and him got married in our backyard.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he is an officer, and that's his nephew. So I sent that to his whole family, an officer and a gentleman.
Oh, that's awesome.
His sister, his mom called me up, and I had to send like 10 more cards out because they all want them.
Yeah.
You can't get that at Walmart.
No.
No.
Not even at Vistaprint.
Or Shutterfly.
Or Shutterfly, yeah.
But here's an example of how I go after large listings. You know, everybody else is just dropping information off about how great the realtor is, how great their company are, what their statistics are. And that's all they get. So I drive by an expired listing and I take a picture of the house. That's $1.5 million house. And they get all this junk from all these other realtors. And then they open up. And when I go after luxury listings, I always send 2 dozen cookies. And realtors say, my God, you're spending $35 on a prospect you don't know if you're going to get to meet or not? Absolutely, because I'm going to make $30,000.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So how many of these can I send out?
Right.
That's
If
an
you got
extra
one
ROI.
listing and you took that profit and you put it in an account that was to do nothing but,
Right.
And see, the first, I would say 3 or 4 years, I wasn't doing luxury homes. But I was just sending the card out with a picture of the house on front. And no gifts, no brownies, no cookies. And that worked. And that worked phenomenally. But people love getting a box.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when they get a box, all of us do. No matter how old I'm 60 years old, I still love opening a box. You can't wait to see what's in it. But when you open that box and it's an expired listing, they see a picture of their house. You're thinking, oh my God, who did this and how they do it?
Yeah.
So, you know, it gets me the listing appointment.
What do you put on the inside?
Oh, well, on that particular one, things are different. On that particular one, I put a history. That home had been listed by 3 different companies, 3 different times. So, and then on the right, I put, you know, their family name. The left side of this card shows the history of attempts to sell your home. No one in Greater Cincinnati markets luxury homes like we do. All other agents put a home in the MLS. But I just went to the history and I made a JPEG of the history and put it right inside the card. That blows them away. And on the back, the branding is phenomenal.
Beautiful picture of downtown Cincinnati.
Yeah, it is. Now, how come you don't put your picture on it?
Because realtors are so hell-bent on putting their picture on everything. That's
You don't-
why send out
with
cards
it.
works.
But with
That's
it.
why send out cards works. Because every other realtor is making it about them and their company and their logo and how great they are. Send out cards, we make it about our prospect or our clients. That's what we do. You know, I mean, I occasionally, this is a good example. These clients have bought like 5 houses from me in the last 10 years. And they bought this one, and they have 2 kids. Their kids are probably like 6 or 8 years old. And they love the brownies. They like cookies, but I know I've sent them 5 or 6 boxes of brownies.
Yeah.
They love getting brownies. And every time, I always put a picture of their kids on there.
Yeah.
And I was leaving a couple months ago, and their dog followed me out. And I thought, you know, send out people who love their dogs.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've never sent the dog any dog treats. So let's send out cards. You can send dog treats.
Yeah.
So I snapped that picture of Juno from my car. And it just says, Juno, it says a message from Juno to me. Jim, you act like we're buddies, but you send treats to the others and not me.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and that's a picture of Juno.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
genius.
Yes.
I love it.
And these people own an $800,000 house. They have like all my cards. They have a huge, like a 40 by 50 great room with this like 12-foot mantle above the fireplace. The only thing on there is Jim McCord's card.
Nice, because it's about them.
Right. If I send pictures, and a lot of realtors that have signed up under me do this, they actually send cards to me and their clients, and they put their picture.
Oh,
realtors.
gosh, yeah.
It's like, really?
You're going to throw it in the trash.
You think I'm going to keep that?
I know.
Now, if I sent these people 6 cards, even with brownies, with pictures of Jim McCord,
They
are going to
would
put them on their mail?
No, they're not.
No.
I
no.
know.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. This guy, he's got some property in Campbell County, and he's an old guy. He doesn't live on that farm, but it's about 3 miles from downtown Cincinnati. It's like 30 acres. Whenever he sells it, it's worth a fortune. So I stop in and see him every now, like once a year. If I see his truck there, I stop in and say, "Hey, Mr. Stephan, how are you doing?" And, you know, I always say, "Can I take your picture?" Well, I was driving by a couple months ago, and Mr. Stephan was sitting on his tractor at the end of the driveway. because the energy company was cutting trees off the wires. And I passed him up because I was kind of rushed. I thought, oh my God, that's a car movement. I got to drive back. So I turned around and I parked in his driveway. And I parked right in front of him like that. And I said, Mr. Stephan, how are you doing? He goes, I'm doing great. I'm just watching them destroy my trees. They're cutting. He had no choice.
Right.
And I said, can I take your picture? He goes, well, if you're going to send me some more brownies. So he got this from me,
That's awesome.
And then you say, I do occasionally put a picture of me. But that, you see, that's not a professional picture like I would normally use. But he's an old farmer. He doesn't want to see Jim McCord in a suit and tie.
Yeah.
And there's not even a question who he's going to call when he sells that 30 acres.
Yes.
And that's like a $2 million piece of property.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is ridiculous.
So what are some things that this guy is doing? The one that's a send out cards.
Well, I know he created a landing page. And I know that somehow he's emailing that landing page out to realtors. And then when they respond with anything, and what he's emailing out are one or more of my videos. And when they reply back to him, he goes ahead and orders a book and sends them a book. Now, he's not doing it through send-out cards. He's doing it through Amazon. But I told him, you should spend the extra money and do it. And the reason he should do it through send-out cards is he could go to that realtor has already expressed an interest. Go to that realtor's website. Right-click, save a picture of that realtor. Click on his listings. Make sure he has some listings first off. Take the most expensive listing, or sometimes they're pendings. Put that on the front of the card. Send that card to him with my book from Send Out Cards.
Yes.
That's going to blow him away.
Yes.
Just getting an Amazon packet with the book is good, and he may or may not read it. But if he gets the card with his or her picture, and somebody put their listing on there, he or she's going to think, who did that? How did they do that?
Yep.
So that's,
So he created a landing page, he's sending it to realtors, the ones that show interest. Well, that's so right.
It's brilliant, really.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I can't wait to do that. I'm not doing that yet. I'm still focusing on real estate.
Yeah.
But I will be.
Yeah, heck yeah.
This is a listing, $6.5 million listing up in Michigan.
Nice.
I'm not licensed in Michigan, but we sold this gentleman's house in Cincinnati this past summer. And it had been listed by the top luxury home company in Cincinnati twice. No showings. And I sent him a card with 24 cookies to get an appointment. I had never met him. He had us in. I told him, his pictures were horrible. I
told him his pictures were horrible.
The pictures were horrible. I don't say it if it's not true. But you don't have a $2 million house listed and take pictures with a cell phone.
Yeah.
You don't do that. And I explained that to him. I showed him pictures of our listing. He listed with us. We ended up selling his home. And while it was pending, he goes, Jim, my wife and I have a $6 or $7 million home up on Lake Michigan. And he goes, I've never met a realtor like you and Michelle before. He goes, I don't want to be meeting with realtors. He goes, will you select a realtor and you get whatever referral tip you can.
Wow.
And so I called like 10 or 12 Keller Williams agents first. I'm a Keller Williams agent. And we wanted a 50% tip. That sounds greedy. So the 10 or 12 Keller Williams agents all said, are you nuts, McCord? We'll give you a 20% tip, not 50%. It sounds greedy, but we're going to do the marketing.
Yeah, you're going to do all the marketing.
Right. We're not licensed, so it has to be under the Michigan. But I couldn't get one Keller Williams agent to do it. So I called Amy Thorson. You guys probably know Amy. She's a send out cards.
Oh, yeah. That name was.
And I love Amy. I met her at a couple of conventions. And I didn't call her. I sent her a Facebook message. I said, Amy, I'm having a problem getting a good agent, realtor. And could you refer me to somebody? And she knew this lady, Megan Luce. And she said, call Megan. I'll let her know you're calling. So I called Megan. And I told Megan, I said, Megan, we got a $6 or $7 million house up in Lake Michigan. And our seller wants us to pick the listing agent. You have to market the way we do down here, and we want a 50% tip. And Megan's brilliant. I guess that's partially why she's in send out cards. But she goes, Jim, of course I'll give you a tip on a $6 million listing. She said, of course I'll give you half of that, because that's just like you giving me a $3 million listing and saying I don't want any tip.
Yes, exactly. I know.
So she's got that listed, and we're sending these cards out for Megan. We can't put our name on there.
Yeah.
And we're going to get a 50% tip of a $6 million sale. Now, it might sell for $5 million, but I got that first listing. We sold it. I got this listing. All not because of Jim McCord or Keller Williams. It's because of send out cards.
Yes.
And you're selling to, a local celebrity because he's a Bengal.
Well, that's who we're marketing to.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's a bagel that gets that. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's really ridiculous.
That's awesome. So what is something you could say, you're going to speak right here to realtors out there that are not using send out cards and they're just their everyday realtor that are sending their normal stuff, their normal postcards and flyers. What can you say to them?
Well, I can say I didn't get it either for 6 months. I absolutely didn't get it because it's so far out of the box of what any other real estate agent is doing. But they have to try. And I really believe if they either watch a couple of my videos or they read the book, they'll get it. But I know for a fact that if they'll sign up and send one card a day, just one card a day, Monday through Friday, for 1 month, and everybody who signs a realtor up, you need to specify and let them know and that's not, it's not like realtors are stupid. They're not. They're used to doing things the realtor way. Yeah. You got to make sure that they understand that every card they send out does not have their picture or their company on the front of the card. They can put whatever they want on the inside, but the front of the card always has to be about the person that's opening that card, that envelope or that box. And that's why it works, because it's about the prospect or the client, not about the realtor or the real estate company.
Have you ever tracked how much money and listings you've made from cards?
Yeah, I'm over $300,000.
Yeah.
Easily over $300,000 additional real estate commissions. And that's great, but that figure would be a lot more if I stay in the real estate business much longer. Because just 3 years ago, I started listing homes over $1 million or more. Now here in San Diego, a luxury home would start at $2.5 or $3 million. $1 million home wouldn't be a luxury home. In Cincinnati, $1 million home is a luxury home. The first 22 years, I never listed or sold $1 million home. Never went after them. Because send out cards worked so well, I thought, well, I'm going to try it on a luxury home. And I went after a luxury home. I had no idea what I was doing. I was nervous. I don't know how to talk to wealthy people. That's what I thought. You know, they're just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
But I thought, oh my God, what am I going to say even if I get the listing appointment? So it was an expired $2.2 million listing. I drove by, took a picture of the house, sent them a card with that picture on the front, and it was a 3-panel card. The 3 panels, I put the picture of their house. It was this big sprawling house, and I hit span, so the whole 3 panels was his house. And just a little note saying, I'm different than all other realtors you've ever met. I'd love to meet with you. And sent that with 24 cookies.
That's awesome.
And he called me up and listed with me
That's
the
awesome.
next week. And I thought, oh my God, that's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to try that again. So I went back to the office and I put expired
I may
listings.
try that
Yeah, I
again.
need to do that.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get back
That
to the
felt
office.
good.
And, you know, I went to the office and I pulled listings that expired over the last 6 months that didn't either go pending or sell or get relisted. And in Northern Kentucky, there's not a lot of luxury homes, so there was only 3 in the last 6 months. And over the next week, I created a card, which was saved from my last card. All I did was change the name and the photos. Created a card for each of those 3 listings, and that month I listed all 3 of them.
Wow.
4 listings over $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't realize I was creating a system. And then I looked at the history of sales over $1 million in Northern Kentucky. And if you go back to January 1st of 2000, it averages now 4 sales a year. That's it. 4 sales a year over $1 million. Wow. That's not much. You can't make a living on that. Yeah. But 2 miles away from my house is Cincinnati and the Ohio River. Mm-hmm. So I got licensed in Ohio where they average 120 sales over $1 million a year. And now, like this month, we're listing 4 homes over $1 million in January.
That's awesome.
So I've listed like 32 homes. We listed this house in Michigan. We have a closing next week in Asheville, North Carolina that we're not licensed at, but we got a listing here. The seller loved the way we market it, kind of like David did at that house I showed you. He said, Jim, can you find an agent in Asheville that can do what you can do? Well, yeah, I can do that. Yeah. And we got a $4 million listing in Indiana.
Wow.
And so now we're branching out and working with realtors licensed in other states because nobody does what we do. I've been with RE/MAX, I've been with Coldwell Banker, and now I'm with Keller Williams. None of those companies or any of the regional companies have anything that can touch send-out cards.
Yeah.
None of them do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, there you have it. Here's his book, you guys. Here it is. You can get it on Amazon, or you can get it from Send Out Cards, or if you want us to send it to you, send your Send Out Cards friend, and they'll send it to you. He's got pictures and stories of his listings and how he does it, and it's the #1 selling real estate book right now on Amazon. There you go. There you go. See it, see it, see it. Okay.